Everybody, welcome back to another daily drop. I am Andrew Jones, formerly the publisher of Tar Heel Illustrated, soon to be the blank, blank, blank of blank, blank, blank. I know people are getting annoyed with this. I am not at liberty to announce the next destination because it's not completely put together yet. When I am given the go-ahead and we know exactly what the roster looks like, we will make an announcement. Until then, we're going to roll out some daily drops for you guys, put some other things on our various social media platforms, and just kind of roll from there. Looking forward to the season. ACC Kickoff Media Days in a couple of weeks in Charlotte. Football practice starts August 1st. Tar Heels open the season September 1st at home against TCU. That's a Labor Day night. That's exclusive national TV. That's a spotlight game for Bill Belichick's program. All right, the topic today, have I undersold the defensive line? I was kind of hard on the D-line a couple months ago, and I did a couple radio shows where I'm like, hey, they only got 3 snaps back from last year. And sometimes, I've been doing this so long, I still get stuck in the what's back from last year mode because that's the way things were for so long. Now what's back isn't always A, a great thing, B, that important. What's more important is what's there now. So in the case of this defensive line, Leroy Jackson played 3 snaps last year, and that was all this team had back from the defensive line. That's it, 3 snaps. Peter Pazanski was on the roster, but he redshirted and did not play. Just Leroy Jackson, 3 snaps. But they did bring in some other guys. I'm wearing my glasses because I'm going to look at some numbers I wrote down here just to make sure I don't screw them up. So pardon me for the glare, but I need to make sure I have these numbers here. I actually think, let me put it this way. Jacob and I did a podcast where I think there are reasons for Carolina fans to be a little bit more optimistic of the Bill Belichick era than maybe they were a few months ago. As I have combed over the defensive line here in the last couple of weeks, I think there is a potential for it to be well above average. And I think the expectation is that it should be that it's at least average. How good would average make everybody else, the rest of the team? Does it need to be better than that? Yeah, it needs to. But can this team win 10 games without an above average defensive line? I think they have a chance of being outstanding at linebacker and really damn good in the secondary. Does that help make up for an okay defensive line? Because I don't think it would be fair to project anything more than an average defensive line because there's just a lot of unknowns. This was originally going to be, hey, the biggest unknown is the defensive line. Well, I've kind of hit on that before. But as I've chewed on these numbers, it's an unknown, but I also think I may have undersold the defensive line. A couple of things. There's 17 players listed on the roster at defensive line, including the ends. 12 of them are redshirt and true freshmen. A lot of young dudes there, and some of them are going to play. The rotation locks, as I see it, I really think they got 3 at defensive end. Melkart Abujod from Delaware, Price Yates from UConn, and Smith Filbert from Penn State. I think you'll see Yates and Abujod play almost exclusively defensive end. Yates is more of a rush guy. He could step back away from the line of scrimmage some. He could cover. He's like, Yates might have the most NFL potential of that group because of his ability to cover. Vilbert might be the most versatile for this team because he's huge and he can actually step inside. So he did play some interior at Penn State. So he's a guy that you could sort of move around, maybe gobble up some extra snaps because of his versatility. I think on the inside, DeAndre Robinson, a transfer from Florida, and CJ Mims, a transfer from East Carolina, are 2 absolutes. So I think there are 5 rotation locks for sure on the defensive front. And the sixth guy, if I had to choose a sixth, I'm going to go with Isaiah Johnson from Arizona. So think about that. You got guys from Delaware, UConn, Penn State, Florida, East Carolina, Arizona. I do believe that at some point Johnson will be a rotation guy. That gives you 6 of them, none of whom were in Chapel Hill last year. None. Now, you want more than 6 because attrition is an absolute. One of these guys is not going to be as good as the staff thinks. Someone's going to be much better than the staff thinks right now, or at least expects. As good as the staff is, that'll be the case. I wonder about Joseph, I don't want to butcher the last name, Mupoi from Penn State, interior guy. Didn't play much, but James Franklin knows what he's doing. Penn State's been very strong up front defensively. I do think Leroy Jackson has a shot at getting in the rotation in some capacity. And I do think Pizanski had to come in to sort of redefine his body. From what I've heard, he's done that. And again, a couple of guys that have been in the program for a year now. So they might be ready to handle some kind of load. It'll be interesting to see if they only go 6 deep in the TCU game, even though it's going to be at night, it's going to be 80, 75, 80. You need to have more depth. You need to show more depth, even if it means a guy playing 3 or 4 snaps here and there, just get him some snaps out there. Because again, attrition is going to hit this group. But I do like it. I do like the pass rush ability of some of these guys. I think the run stopping ability could be better than I anticipated a couple of months ago. I really like DeAndre Robinson. I think if you think of the guys on this group, the guys that I've just listed, Robinson might be one who's got some all ACC potential. I like his game. I like his film. I like true freshmen who play 330 snaps or whatever it was. I don't remember how many snaps he had at Florida. 162 at Florida, excuse me. But he played in some meaningful games, and he got on the field and played against some good competition. By the way, I was going to add up all the snaps here. I'm just going to throw it out at the top of my head right now. We're talking 900, 1,200, 14. You're talking about, with CJ Mims also played 339 EC. You're talking about almost 1,800 snaps last season from this group. So it is more experience than I said a couple of months ago. None of these guys has been a stalwart just yet, although I think Price Yates might be. I think Price Yates is really good. I think he's going to have a really good season. He's got to stay healthy. He only played 7 games last year for UConn, but most Carolina fans probably remember him from the bowl game. He just ate up the Tar Heels. So I do think the biggest unknown is the defensive line. But I also feel a lot better about Carolina's D-line now than I did 2 months ago. And I do like the coachable factor. They're going to get coached up. So if they want to be better as individuals, they will get better with this staff. So it'll be very interesting to see what they're like and how TCU attacks them. TCU, not a real good running team last year, but certainly pretty prolific throwing the ball. But if the weakness of Carolina's might be stopping the run and gap integrity and all that kind of stuff, it'll be interesting in that opener to see if TCU believes that and tries to exploit it. We can learn what TCU thinks about Carolina's defense as the game goes along based on how they try to exploit it. They got a big-time quarterback with plenty of stats under his belt last year, but if the Horned Frogs decide they're going to run, it means they don't respect Carolina's front. So I think we'll learn early on where the line stands. And it needs to be good. And I'm not so sure it's going to be good, but I'm a little more optimistic for UNC's sake now than I was a couple of months ago. Let me know what you guys think. Who is your breakout guy? I think, to me, my breakout guy is going to be DeAndre Robinson. I think he's going to be really, really good. I also think Price Yates is going to be very dependable. It's not 1,000% sure on any of the other guys. Who do you think it's going to be? Did I not name somebody that you think is going to step in and be very, very good? Maybe one of the true freshmen who come in. Maybe they're going to get an opportunity and they're going to earn a significant role on this team. As Jacob Turner likes to say, like, share, and subscribe. And we'll be back with another one, next Monday? This is Friday. Next Monday. I'm AJ. Thanks for stopping by. Or wait a minute. It's actually Tuesday, tomorrow. My bad. I'm AJ. Thanks for stopping by.